Hey everyone, welcome back to Christians and Culture. Today we're just introducing the next series that we're going to be going over. I was trying to think of what should we tackle next, what should be the next topic to really go after. And as I was doing so, it just kind of hit me the age that our children are growing up in right now. It's what's being called a virtual age. There are no kids growing up today who will know what it's like not to have social media. I barely remember what it was like not to have social media. And social media came around right at the edge of when I was kind of hitting my teens. That was when it was starting to really become popular. And so the kids growing up today, they'll never know what it was like to not instantly get feedback on anything you say online, to not be able to see news instantly no matter where it happens in the world, to not be able to talk to your friends in a moment no matter where they are in the world. They'll never know what it's like not to get their news online, not to get their television online. It's a switch over from the previous technological age, basically. It's the same thing that happened when we switched over to television. It's the same thing that happened when we switched over to having cars instead of horses or walking everywhere. It's just a transition for the lives of those who are coming up after us. But the importance of the gospel has not gone away in that time. The importance of reaching people with the good news has not changed. It's still there, but it has to take a new form. In the same way that when the television came around, we were gifted with a new opportunity to reach those in need, to reach those who were in far-flung places in the world, so we have a new opportunity with the digital age, with social media, with the upcoming, what's probably going to be a VR-related experience for many people. That's still a ways away, but it is coming, and there will be a day when people will put on their headset and talk to each other as if they're standing in the same room. That's going to happen at some point. And we still have to share the gospel. We still have to reach those who are lost. And more importantly, we still have to be aware of how we look in the world. Unfortunately, a lot of Christians don't put a lot of thought into how they look online, how they look when they're interacting, whether it be on YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or TikTok. They don't think so much about the persona there that they're putting forward. But the simple fact of the matter is, we are still attached to the name of Christ, no matter if we're saying something on Facebook or on a street corner. Times have changed, but the gospel hasn't. And the need to present that proper look to everyone out there who is not a Christian, who is seeking but is still lost, is vitally important. So when we approach this upcoming series, we're going to be approaching it from the standpoint of how do we maintain Christian composure, a Christian face, if you will, while we're dealing with an online world. It's hard. We don't react the same way online with our kind of faux anonymity that we do when we're face to face. There are things that even the best of us might say online when we think no one knows what we're saying or who we are or what we're doing. Well, there are things that even the kindest person may say there that they would never in their wildest dreams say to someone face to face. I think every person who's been on the internet for a long amount of time has that kind of post in their history, somewhere on the internet where they've said something that they wish they could take back. But our kids are growing up in a world where that will be their interaction. That is where they're going to meet people. That is where they're going to talk. And I don't care how much those of us who are older or the generation previous or a couple generations previous, or we say we don't like social media, what it does. It doesn't really matter if we like it or not. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. We have to learn how to interact with it. So that will be our upcoming series. We're going to look at how we maintain our Christian gospel, how we maintain the witness, keep our proper spirit about us as we interact in the digital world, whether it be quick bits on TikTok where we have only a few seconds of talking back and forth, or whether it's something long like YouTube or Facebook where we're interacting in more detail. Wherever the case is, we have to keep in mind that we represent Christ on the earth. The verse that I want us to keep in mind as we go forward in this, as we're pushing forward into this series, the kind of mascot verse, if you will, is Romans 12, starting in verse 17 and going to verse 19. Repay no one evil for evil, but give thought to do what is honorable in the sight of all. If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all. Beloved, never avenge yourselves, but leave it to the wrath of God, for it is written, Vengeance is mine, I will repay, says the Lord. I almost feel like that verse has just been completely ignored by Christians in the online world, unfortunately. The nicest people that you'll meet, and they'll talk about Jesus and love and what their favorite Bible verse is, will say some of the nastiest things when they have that screen between them and whoever they're talking to. That doesn't make us awful people. It doesn't make us the worst folks who've ever lived. It doesn't mean we're not saved. But it can impact how we're presenting the gospel. It does affect people out there. And worst of all, ask anyone under the age of 30, the internet never forgets. Once it's there, it's there. We have to be careful about what we put up. We have to be careful about how we speak. More importantly, we have to be careful about how we're teaching our kids to interact with this world, because they are interacting with it. They're seeing things that many of us did not see until we were full-grown adults. They're seeing it every day. They're seeing it in ad form on their various websites. So much so that they're going to become desensitized to it. It won't even mean anything. It's just a part of what they see. They have to be able to interact. They have to be able to challenge where they need to challenge. But as the verse says here in Romans, live peaceably when it's at all possible. That's going to be our goal here. Maintaining our Christian virtue in a virtual world. That is the goal coming up with our Christians and Culture bits for the next few weeks here. I don't know how long exactly, but that's our video here. Just an introduction. I hope this finds you well, and I look forward to be able to speak to you in more detail in our first video on this topic next week. Until then, goodbye, everybody.